temple of all gods.
Hey guys, pay attention.
And it was a formal temple and now turned into like a church. And scholars believe that it was dedicated to the gods. It was completed by Emperor Hadrian and was commissioned by Marcus Agrippa during the reign of Augustus. And its date of construction isn't like fully known, but it's said to be around like 126 AD. So like the cool thing about the Pantheon is like the building is circular and has like the large columns. So there's 8 in the first and 2 groups of 4 behind it. So those 16 columns weigh about 60 tons each. And the Pantheon in the inside has the opening, which is the oculus, and it's like said to like be like an opening towards the heavens. And so it still remains the largest unsupported dome in the world today.
And so what's so interesting about the Pantheon is that when it was built right after like Christ's death, basically, and it actually, so there's kind of 2 key features about it. When it was originally constructed, it wasn't facing this way, because I believe this is facing north, and it was supposed to be facing south, and it was destroyed twice in like the span of like 200 years, and they kind of put it backwards. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding it and why it's facing the wrong way. But so in talking about Marcus Agrippa, who was the man who basically like commissioned this and decided that the whole thing was going to be built, he was one of like the Roman Empire's kind of chief architects and was very instrumental in basically making Rome what it is, or what it was back then. And he, I think he renovated like all of the aqueducts flowing into Rome to make cleaner drinking water for all of the people. And he kind of basically was the right-hand man to a few emperors and led a lot of important military excursions and stuff like that. But this is his most famous work. And so, like, a couple notable things on the inside: 2 kings of Italy are buried in there, and both, I mean, very famous tourist attractions for people like us and for Italians. And one of the most famous Renaissance painters, Raffaello, is actually buried in there in a tomb as well with his fiancée. And the fiancée thing was kind of interesting because he was engaged to her for 6 years, but was having an affair with a baker's wife, and held the engagement off for 6 years, and then she ended up dying, and he felt so bad that he buried her in the tomb with him. And so yeah, there's kind of like a couple quirky stories about it, but it's the only reason it's still standing today is because it was taken over by the Catholic Church in the 600s by a pope, and he converted it into part of the church and turned it into a place of worship. So a lot of original like statues and things like that from the Roman era are not in there because it was turned into a church. And the Catholic Church has basically kept it running until like the 1800s, until the Italian state took it over, and has maintained it ever since. So it's one of the best preserved things from the Roman Empire throughout Rome, and it's kind of all thanks to the Catholic Church. And kind of like the last weird thing about it was it used to have, right above like this main triangle, it used to have 2 bell tower kind of things that a pope constructed in the 1800s, and the people of Rome were so upset with it that they rioted about it and threatened to like attack the Catholic Church because they said he ruined one of their most prized possessions, and it was taken down like 50 years later.